Travel with us and our golden retriever from Argentina to Paris.
Okay, so this was day 1 of 4, and bear in mind our flight wasn't until 4 a.m. on Tuesday. We checked out of our Airbnb on Monday morning, stored our luggage at a hostel, then had to figure out a plan. Coffee pit stop, then we found somewhere we could get Digby's airline forms printed before literally spending the entire afternoon in the vet waiting for a health certificate. We had tickets to a tango show before our flight. We walked for an hour across the city to stretch all of our legs, made it to the show just in time. This was such a treat and honestly the perfect way to end our time in Argentina. Amazing meal, amazing show, and amazing that Digby could join us. Then we walked back across the city, collected a luggage and jumped in an Uber to the airport. As Digby successfully peed and pooed, we put on his ESA badges to activate good boy mode, grabbed a trolley and went to check in. Got there only to be told we needed some piece of paperwork for the flight that we definitely did not have, but luckily the place to get it was at the airport and it was miraculously open at 1 a.m. We got escorted over, got the random piece of paper that the airline needed for Digby to board and headed back to check-in 2.0. Then it was time to navigate immigration and security, which we never managed to film because we get far too flustered. How anyone travels with dogs and looks calm and collected I'll never know, but we made it and were all ready to crash out. Stayed awake long enough to catch a view of Buenos Aires, then woke up to sunrise in the clouds. We upgraded to premium economy as it was an overnight flight and were all very happy with the extra leg room. Can we take a minute to appreciate the absolute angel that Digby is? I'll never get over how well he handles travel. And before we knew it, we were landing in Panama, in classic Central America, waiting for an hour before we could leave the plane. We finally got off and headed straight to the pet relief area. Tried and failed to get Digby to go to the toilet. He was much more interested in tummy rubs. So Lewis and I used the sink to freshen up, don't tell anyone, and went on a coffee hunt. Found Starbucks, but there was no seating, so we got comfy on the floor, which was obviously perfect for cuddles. Then we did a spotted plane watching before going for a walk to find our gate.
Flight number 2 was Panama to Mexico and only 3 hours long, so this was the legroom situation without upgrading to premium. Landed in Cancun before we knew it, and Lewis's face says it all. Classic Mexico. Border agent spent a good hour telling us we didn't have the right paperwork to leave the country with Digby, who can be sad when even collecting luggage is the most exciting thing in the world to him. We successfully avoided the locals trying to scam us for taxis outside the airport, got the free shuttle to our terminal before checking into our flight super early, just to make sure that the border agents were wrong and that we could. Spoiler alert, we could. 4 hours, 3 overpriced burritos, and too many naps to count later. We're ready for our 3rd flight and our 2nd night without a bed. Didn't film much at this point because we were so exhausted. This video of me 2 minutes after boarding just about sums it up. This flight was all the way up to Canada with an airline who we love because they always automatically assign us to bulkhead seats. One big old sleep later and we landed in Quebec at 6 a.m. to minus 15 degrees and a shit ton of snow. We napped on the floor until the coffee shop opened and settled in for the day to be productive, some more than others. We alternated our 10 million coffees with minus 10 million degree walks. Then got recognised the first time, which was mad, before it was time to check in for our 4th and final flight. This time, we're crossing the Atlantic. Honestly, can't quite explain how good it felt to finally land in Paris at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning after checking out of our Airbnb in Argentina on Monday. We caught the train into Paris, checked into a hotel, and finally